Yeah. So that's all I had on it. So we are interested. I'll do the work and we can come back next.
Yeah, we'll just put it, just remind me to put it on the agenda.
No, very.
Yeah.
It doesn't say emails as a whole. It would be what the email pertains to. If it's an email about a financial statement, then it would be 5 years. If it's an email about, I guess, over minutes, it would be forever. So it would have to be what it's subheading, what the email is subject to.
I like the master passport idea. I don't think it's something that they should have access to unless it's an absolute necessary. But because there are too many times things can disappear out of email and go back into it. But I do think it's, I mean, right now we can't get into some documents that AC was provided by the engineer. I mean, they've been nice enough to resend those, but those went to AC's email and we have no way of getting into those.
Right. Yeah.
Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're down to the public comments. You got 3 minutes. Rex, I know you got some information and got you number 1.
Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all letting us be here for a meeting. So I want to give y'all an idea of what's happening at the school district, and in particular with the police department. For the first time in the history of the police department, the board has approved, and I've hired him, is a full-time campus police officer for the high school. I hired a 25-year veteran who retired out of Dayton PD. He was their detective for many years, Mr. O'Quinn, and he's going to be at our high school. He's bilingual, he has the experience, he worked everything from criminal mischief to a mailbox to multiple homicides. So he has a wide range of knowledge that he brings to that. Also, all summer long, Justin Edwards, one of the officers that I hired, y'all may remember he was seriously injured a few years ago. I can't really remember, it's been 3 or 4 years ago when he worked for Cleveland PD in a car accident. He's back to 100% physically, and the percentage on his mental health is, we're reviewing that. But Justin's a good guy, and I think he's going to do a really good job. I went to Anderson Ford, and they were gracious enough to spend an exorbitant amount of money. $10,500 is what they donated to us, and K9 for Cops donated another $10,000, and we imported ourselves a genuine German Shepherd. That dog has a passport. I didn't even have a passport. The dog So this dog, though, is highly trained in tracking narcotics and patrol work. By patrol work, let's say there's a burglar in this building, and instead of sending Rod or somebody in here after the burglar, come out, we're going to send the dog in, give him the warning, and then we go unhook the dog and let the dog do its thing. This dog is phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to tell you, I worked in Harris County many years and worked with a lot of canines from HPD, Harris County, and various agencies. This dog is phenomenal. He's been in class with Justin for 8 weeks. They've got 2 more weeks to go, including this week. And right now in narcotics, he's number 1. In tracking, he's number 3. And in bite work, he's number 1. So this dog is phenomenal. That's out of a class of 15 that started. They're down to 11. And this dog is rating that high. And we're going to have that right here in Cleveland. I will say this, I've talked to all the agency heads in the area. I'm going to make Justin and the dog available to help the sheriff's office, constable's office, DPS, whoever needs to use that resource. We're going to allow them to use that resource with the caveat of schools come first. Okay? If Justin and the dog are tied up at a school and you have a problem, you're going to have to wait till our children are taken care of first. Then we'll send the K9 team to you. But, and everybody understands that and are receptive to that. So those MOUs are in place, and so that asset will be here for this whole community. And I think it's something that will mean a lot to us in the end. And so having a campus officer and a K9 officer that can really combat drugs, gang activity, things to that effect at our high school and middle school, and tragically even over at East Side we've handled some drug cases. I think we're going to see a significant impact with regards to that, and that was the whole point. I will say with the construction, I don't know if y'all follow us on our Facebook, but the temp buildings are in place, and they're building the ramps and the overhangs and things like that. I know nobody really likes temp buildings, but it's a fact of life. You got to put them somewhere. while we do all the construction. $35 million bond that y'all passed, it is rolling. And I think they're gonna start breaking dirt somewhere around October. And when they do, it's gonna be sun up and sun down construction all over the school district, trying to get these new wings and cafeterias and everything built. While this goes on, many kids will be in the temp buildings. I have brought a friend of mine from Harris County Fire Marshal's office up here, and he is an investigator, he's certified inspector and what have you. And we have gone through our emergency action plans and things like that, evacuation routes for the temp buildings, and pending the construction to see, you know, how we can get people in and out if we need to. So we're already planning ahead before this even happens, but we have those plans in place and we're ready to go if we need them, God forbid. We had a big deal this morning at the school. All the district employees were there. They hired 148, or replaced, 148 staff members, teachers, etc., and an additional 50 positions, so nearly 200 new people there this morning. And I'll say that with a large part of that is the growth here in Plum Grove. We literally have hundreds of more students now than we did before, and soon those numbers will probably turn from hundreds to thousands as we progress. Bus routes, I know that the transportation director is, he's like all gray now and wrinkledy looking, and I don't know what happened to him. He's only like 25 and he looks like 80, but whatever. So he's coming up with these new bus routes. It is a struggle because there's new roads that are out here that are being constantly built. Even off of Josie Loop, that whole new section out there, he's like trying to figure out how am I going to route buses and do that. But we are working on that with the projection that, hey, things are changing, more roads, etc. So some of the bus routes may change. Now, the good news about school starting is that you will see us out here from time to time, if not a lot, because of the bus routes and bus stops and some of the issues that come with that. So you'll see CISD police officers out here from time to time, and you may see us on a little traffic stop or whatever. We'll certainly work in conjunction with the constable and the sheriff and the DPS and anybody else. Just like we do with the dog, we'll do the same for anything else. And the idea is that, you know, or the good news is that that's a couple extra officers that are rolling around out here from time to time. That's better than nothing. That's kind of the update that I wanted to bring you guys up to speed of what we're doing and how your ISD police department specifically is doing and what we're working towards. And the school district as a whole is growing. I mean, just it's unbelievable. I would invite any of y'all to come to one of our board meetings, and just it's phenomenal how much we're growing just from when I started as a chief in 2012 to today. I can't even believe it. But anyway, anybody have any questions for me? I can see you afterwards. I think I've kind of burned up my 3 minutes, but I'll answer anything you have outside. And thank you again for listening to me, Mayor, Council, all of you from Plum Grove. And I will say one thing just real quick, now hush. And you did a good job tonight. You are all right. So thank you all very much for letting me speak. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Ms. Hurst. Hurst, you're up.
Oh, I don't have any questions. I'm sorry.
We got them all answered. Is it Chuck?
Chuck, yeah. I just have a few concerns after the last meeting that we had here. It was stated multiple times that there were no negotiations going on with the developers with the lawsuits. And then come to find out what specific questions that were being asked. I asked for documentation, and I've also read in the newspaper there were negotiations going on. So my concern is, if you're telling me that there's not negotiations, how can I trust that your word is acceptable going forward, but you're not telling me something that's incorrect?
Can I address that?
Yeah, but hold on a second, let me get all the way through, and then you can. The other concern is, can we pull back these negotiations? Because I really think we have a good chance of these lawsuits of winning, and I think there's some things that we need to discuss that are concerns with the developer. Not with the subdivisions, with the developer. Not with anything else that's going on. There are legal issues with individuals, so that's fine. Can we have a committee of non-council members and council members to discuss the negotiations so that they can be posted before a decision is made? So that we don't have to read it in the newspaper that there's that they're looking at shortening our city. And, so that's basically my concerns.
Okay. What was said in the last meeting was that there was not any official negotiations at that time, that we had met with Trey Harris, and we were probably gonna start negotiations, but there's been nothing official, and there's still nothing official now, so I don't know what the newspaper is telling you, but there's nothing official right now. The city has not been given anything official by Trey Harris. We've talked about some ideas back and forth with me, not with the council, with me personally. And before we make any negotiations, that has to be voted on. We have not done anything at this point.
You're referring to a paper that someone, I think, on the previous council had, and if they were under certain negotiations, it was not with any of us. And that, I think I saw the same thing that you saw, that had nothing to do with us. There was no negotiations over that. Something was
So
thrown
they're not
out.
trying to push something through right now and get it passed, because
There's nothing being pushed at all right
our
now.
city limits.
There's not a letter from their attorneys asking you to shrink the city limits.
You're talking about
You're
that
talking
one that y'all had.
No, I'm talking about the letter from.
Wait, hey, we're not gonna get out of order, Dan.
What I saw is a
Wait a minute,
document
wait a
that
minute,
said
hang
we
on.
did that.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
hang on just a minute. Go ahead, move
It
it.
was the Coates and Rose letter that the very first night that we ever came into this council, into this building as a council, Leonard Snyder said, well, this is what was sent out, dated like November the 15th was the date on it, some crazy date. None of us had been in negotiation with that. None of us at this table right here had anything to do with that. Not anything. And we did it, Mary Lou, that was our first night we saw
That's the
it.
first I ever seen the letter.
Well,
Okay.
I don't know who, the
That's the
letter
first time
was-
I've ever seen it.
The letter was given out at the letter was made available, I believe the letter was made available at the workshop that we had.
Yes.
No, I don't think that one was. That was something that Leonard Snyder said, well, this is something that we've been talking about.
Well, I don't know where it
We
come
were not
from.
talking about it. And we all said right then, we're not talking about this, and we have not addressed it. We have not looked at it. We have not, let's look at the items. It's been pushed completely out. We have nothing to do with that.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. If this council is gonna negotiate on something as a body officially and vote on it, I'm gonna know about it, and I'm gonna be involved in it. I have never in my life laid eyes on Mr. Harris, talked to him on the phone, talked to him in person, conducted any business with him whatsoever. I do have his number in my phone, but I am not gonna call him as long as there's an outstanding lawsuit.
Well, I've never talked to him. I don't even have his
I don't
number.
intend to talk to
Okay, so
him.
where do we actually stand on these lawsuits? Are we going to negotiate, or are we looking at going against it? Because there are some legitimate reasons against the developers. that
If you're
it's hurting our
basing
environment.
your opinions on that letter that you saw, it's misleading. Because there's the one that I saw that Leonard Snyder had the night that we were in that meeting. And I guess everyone didn't even get it. I saw it was on the table. And I did look at it. And there were some outlandish things on there. Now, that is not being negotiated. So if people are telling you that we're negotiating that, that is a outright not true. That is not true.
And since that letter's come out, we have not received anything to my knowledge from the attorney with any kind of demands or negotiations from the attorney since that Coates Rose letter, unless anybody knows anything different than I do.
Well, I just don't want to interrupt you. You had so many things on your list. Are you finished? I mean, it's your turn.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we are going to know something about it, that it's not going to be forced on us, that we're going to have a chance to respond to it. And if you're going to design the website, if that can be posted there so that we can get easy access to it. I don't want to feel like I'm not getting truthful answers. Because we need to come together as a community, and we need to fix the issues that the developers have caused.
Before I was elected to this position, I would sit out there for many meetings. There was a whole lot that went on up here with this council and the mayor that I wasn't privy to. nor should I have been. They were elected to conduct the city's business, and you have to place a certain amount of trust in them, whether you vote for them or not, they were elected. Now, some of that's gonna happen here. The mayor decides, and I think it'll probably be the mayor mostly who will decide what the community is privy to and when. And to the extent that he's willing to disclose that information, he'll do so. And
Well, we will vote on whatever happens when the time comes.
any vote that happens, of course, will be in public. We can't do anything in secret. But as far as opening it up to the community to comment on, or of course, you always have 3 minutes here to comment every meeting. So if the mayor wants to open it up to discussion and have a workshop or something, maybe he'll do that. I don't know, but it comes to a point where this council has to decide to make a decision on city business that's presented to them. And to my knowledge, nothing's been presented at this point.
Karen?
I'll pass.
Okay. Lee, Lynn?
Ernie, when you're over, it's not open for discussion. I'm gonna tell you what's going on the lawsuit, since because I'm paying for the city attorney, I have open discussion to it. Last year, you wondered what we were doing. Trey Harris approached us and asked us to shrink the city. We told him no. He filed lawsuits against us, and you remember the lawsuits, they were the letters, right? You all got the lawsuit letters. Well, he did send us a negotiation in November. We told him no thank you. Plum will continue to operate the way it always has. So, Mr. Harris, John and Trey Harris and Colony Ridge filed lawsuits against the city. They have 3. One is a mandamus, one is inverse condemnation, and one is a federal lawsuit over in Beaumont. Well, there was a letter presented here the first night that they were counsel, not the night that I swore them, that we let Missy swear them in. The next night, they went into executive counsel, and I had already been given the letter that day too, because my name is on the lawsuit. So, they were all presented a letter up here, and they went into their chamber and they discussed it. What did they say? I don't know. I did not go into chamber with them. I was not even